Hello, welcome to another video where we are going to take a look at the battles from one of the better British players around, MadBear87. He's been hitting Legend consistently, but also the leaderboards pretty consistently. The team he is using includes a Pokemon that has fallen a little bit out of touch. It's the Talonflame, the fire flying of choice nowadays is Charizard, but MadBear still is rocking that Talonflame. I still think it's pretty good. It's just pretty slow, especially compared to Charizard. He's using double water with that. Obviously, an electric type lead will be difficult for this team. Giratina's pretty tough, but all three Pokemon do have coverage moves, so I guess it does provide some flexibility. I'm curious how he's going to make it work, because I think it looks like a pretty difficult team to make it work, but Blastoise, Swampert, and Talonflame are all three absolute staples in Ultra League, so I still think it's a pretty good team. Here we go, the first battle. These battles are around the 3100 elo, and he gets a pretty good lead here with that Trevenant, and the Trevenant is actually staying in, which is interesting. Now, this matchup is somewhat iffy because the Shadow Claws and Shadow Ball hit so hard from Trev that it actually wins the one shields here, which is kind of stupid. And they do bait, which is not great for Madbeer. He's gonna go for the double flame charge here, though. The Trevenant is almost down already. If you shield twice your Talonflame, you actually do you actually do farm down. And because the opponent wanted to CMP here, but Madbear knew he was at the Shadow Ball, he gets a full Incinerate through and gets the full farm down here. Comes up with about 90 energy here. Swampert comes in, no problem. You have double Brave Bird at this point, and Swampert has to shield, can shield only one of them, and actually that goes through. That does a ton of damage, and this Swampert will not even get to the what's called the Earthquake anymore. Now Cobalion comes in, so I guess this is what the opponent was kind of fearing. A little bit of an... as we are kind of weak to Giratina, the opponent is really weak to like Charizard and Talonflame. That's exactly what they don't want to see. Because even with Cobalion's coverage move Stone Edge, is still not something you kind of want to swap into a Charizard, I think. Because you'd have to like bait to win that matchup as the Cobalion, and it's not too comfortable. Let's see. First, the second Hydro is shielded. Sacred Sword does moderate damage, but they come out so quickly. It's only 3 double kicks, 9 turns, and Blastoise, I believe, is about... what is it? It's about 13 or 14 turns to the Hydro, and he doesn't even have to review the Swampert here. Yeah, opponent just really weak to that Talonflame lead, so that kind of helps. Let's take a look at battle number 2. I hope we get to see something like a Giratina. Again, he gets a Trevenant lead. Interesting. This time they swap out though with into the Walrein. That's a core that you can't really miss. And what you need to do here is not CMP with the Walrein, because then if you're throwing a Brave Bird, the Icicle Spear will do so much damage. So basically that's what Madbear is trying to avoid here. Throws the Brave Bird right after that Icicle Spear, then you can swap out. It does get shielded. It's a little bit unfortunate, but not the worst. Then swaps into his Blastoise, basically a little bit as a sacrifice, I think, but also not because he's shooting it. Probably just to keep switch. And if you come out with a lot of energy on the Blastoise, you do have an Ice Beam for that Trevenant. So maybe it's not the worst. This matchup would be somewhat neutral if you have Skull Bash on the Blastoise, because the Power Snows are resisted, just like the Water Guns are resisted. But now you only have resisted charge move, so that doesn't really do much for Blastoise here. Obviously, there's already been a little bit of chip on that Walrein, so it helps. Now Trevenant comes in, and now you can reveal that Ice Beam, which is nice. I don't know how much this does to you, but I would think about 60%. Guess we won't find out. Yeah. Oh, but the timer's also up for Madbear, so he can swap out as well. Ooh. Let's see where this is going. I wouldn't think that there's 2 Swampert answers on the line. So I think the Swampert in the back is pretty safe for Madbear, but is this a Seed Bomb? Did Madbear count well? Yeah, he did count well. Seed Bomb does nothing here. Goes to 2 Flame Charges now. This is actually even worse for the opponent. Because now it allowed Madbear to farm up more energy. This is sometimes what I mean when I say that I don't throw the move just to pressure the opponent. Because this is what happens if you throw the weaker move and the opponent knows. In the back storage, yeah, that's very much over. Because what happens then is that the opponent might just farm up more energy, and that can screw you over even more. That's really not what you want. Well, if they went for the Shadow Ball, Madbeer probably would have thrown Flame Charge, and he wouldn't have another one for the Wall Ring just yet. Maybe the Wall Ring would have had a move by then. Anyway, next lead. Pidgeot usually comes with a Cobalion in the back. I guess Madbeer doesn't really care about Cobalion. Usually there's no Trevenant in the back because that'd be extremely weak to Wall Ring leads. Going to 2 moves here. Then the Brave Bird, which might be a little bit unexpected here. This is double debuff though, so I think the Pidgeot will barely survive. It doesn't get shielded. Yeah, it survives quite easily. Then swapping a Blastoise, and personally I hate this. Swapping into a Pidgeot that can debuff you so harsh. Yeah, here we go. Feather Dance doesn't do damage, but does debuff you really hard. And to be honest, this is kind of a waste of the opponent's energy. An absolute waste. Because Virizion is really solid in this matchup. It can take this Ice Beam easily. You don't shield this, right? Yeah. Well, this is double debuffed. So, did even less. But otherwise, you still take it easily. The Water Guns don't do too much. You have an extremely strong Grass move in Leaf Blade. Or not. They could run Sacred Word Stone Edge as well. Gets to another Ice Beam. It doesn't matter. They still live this. You still don't have to shield his Virizion. So I think the Feather Dance, that was a big throw of the energy. And this allows Madbeer now to farm down. The opponent even throws immediately, allowing a full Flame Charge through. They may... Oh, that's a bait even. Wait. Is that a Stone Edge? No shot. Okay, they just want to chip in. So that might indicate it's something like Cobalion in the back. Let's see. If Pidgeot comes in, can you farm this down as a Talonflame? Oh, it is Cobalion. There we go. Double kick comes in, but I feel like as the Incinerate user, you don't look as much at that. Yeah, opponent tries to catch. Oh, look at that fast swap from Madbeer. I think he could have farmed down, but regardless, now you still have the Flame Charge store. You can farm down a Pidgeot and Earthquake the Cobalion. Maybe you don't even farm. I don't know if you can farm down actually. Yeah, he throws the Hydro. That makes sense. But yeah, Incinerate is just so slow. Sometimes you can't really even go for the move timing. It's just not optimal at times. This one though was very preventable if you just throw 3 double kicks. On the other, maybe they don't want to shield an Earthquake or something. But I mean, it doesn't. This move would not have KO'd anyway. So Hydro comes in. It's double debuffed to get shielded. The opponent expected the Earthquake maybe, and now Madbeer is trying to get this into Flame Charge range. And that should be very much game over. Because now he swaps out, and this is very smart, because a neutral Brave Bird does slightly more than a super effective Flame Charge. Flame Charge is not a strong move. It's basically nice to buff up your damage, but it's not really the best move. Mandibuzz. So here's where Talonflame kind of shines. I'm not going to say it's a incredible matchup, but one of the things that you do here as Talonflame is keep buffing yourself, and then the matchup becomes gradually better. Just because Pokemon like Mandibuzz, Umbreon are just so slow and don't have high damage output. They're gonna throw like 4 charge moves. Dark Pulse, maybe 3. Right, at least when shields are gonna get used. So but by then the Talonflame is buffed up so much that those Incinerates are really going to chunk. Yeah, Mandibuzz just lets everything go. That makes sense. Wait, what's CMP? Interesting. Dark Pulse comes in. It gets shielded by Madbeer this time. Do you have pace barely? Is this a Dark Pulse or Aerial Ace? Because an Aerial Ace often is 3. It is a Dark Pulse. And gets the farm down. Exactly. So the more shields are used, the better this becomes for the Talonflame. Those slow matchups. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see any Giratinas in these battles. I would have loved to have seen how it does there, but I think it's still a good showcase of Talonflame. Talonflame is still really good. Hydro comes in. In comes Hydra on the Shadow Swampert. It does get shielded. For a second I was thinking, wait, is this Ultra Premier? But no, we saw Cobalion. Earthquake comes in. Blastoise is really bulky, so it's gonna take this like a champ. Well, puts him into the red, but high red, so easy. It's a Hydro KO for me. Shadow Swampert is really fragile, but since Blastoise is so bulky, I don't think this might KO just yet. Yeah, barely doesn't. In comes that Cobalion. Oh, this is where Swampert shines. This is This has honestly been my experience as well lately. I've been running some Swampert. People don't respect it anymore. There's like Gobalion with Charizard, as if Swampert is extinct. No, Swampert is still one of the best Pokemon in Ultra League. And Matt Bear shows it. Right? It's such a good sweeper. Both Talonflame and Swampert are really good sweepers. I really like that a lot about this team. Hydro doesn't kill here yet. And then Macho's down. Very well played. Alright. I think we have one more game. Hopefully a Giratina. Come on. Okay. Champ. That's very uncommon. Let's take a look. So this matchup is somewhat annoying if Machamp baits here. I honestly have to... Wow, he no-shields this. What a madman. Oh my god. Okay, look. In Go Battle League, this is sometimes fine, because you have like 2,000 battles a season anyway. But man, that's risky. I like it though. But if Machamp double baits here, I believe in Ultra League it can win that. And he actually no-shields again. Another cross shop. I also don't hate it per se, because in Open Ultra a lot of Machamp run payback. Another Flamerush come through, gets no shield, the opponent comes in with their Charizard. Well, this thing has nowhere to go. In comes Swampert. Is there a Trevenant in the back? Oh, this is Shadow Shiny Charizard, by the way. It's pretty wicked. No shields his move. Makes sense. He has 2 water types. Doesn't really need both of them per se. In the back is a Berserker. And this is not exactly a Swampert on Sam. Mad Bear, really good recognition. Can get to 2 Earthquakes easily here. And take out this Berserker. Yep, that gets no shield. The opponent, that even though that KOs, the opponent lets it through it. I think it's a good play from the opponent because you know Swampert gets to 2 moves. You know they get there, right? What are you gonna do? And if you no shield, that you just get taken out by a Hydro. So there's just not much you can do at this point as the opponent. Honestly, Mad Bear calling those baits has been insane as well. To be honest though, there was double water, especially that Blastoise in the back from Mad Bear, so it's gonna be difficult either way. Right, because look at this. Mad Bear just showing, I don't care, dude. It just doesn't do damage. Then throws the Hydro Cannon, and that will win in the game. Unfortunately, no Giratina in these sets, in this set, but I think it's a good showcase of the Talonflame, Swampert core in general. I recommend it to a friend of mine as well. Actually, she's running Charizard Swampert, which I also think is really solid. And it just shows Talonflame is still a pretty good sweeper. So thank you, Mad Bear, for sending in these battles. I hope you liked the video and have a good one. See you in the next one.